Toastmasters, dear guests. I have read that it takes about 3 seconds to form an opinion and to make a decision for just about anything. The first time I heard about Toastmasters, it took me about 3 seconds to decide that I'm interested. 3 seconds to decide to come to a meeting. 3 seconds to decide to become a member. And once I became a member, I was told, now you should come to deliver an icebreaker. Deliver an icebreaker? What do you mean? So should I have a gift wrap? Or do you prefer to use IKEA flat packaging and a screwdriver? Well, it turns out that the icebreaker is just a fancy name for this first speech, and the objectives looked pretty easy. To begin speaking in front of an audience and to survive for 4 to 6 minutes. Well, here I am, so check. To survive, I thought I could say something funny about Toastmasters, like the incredible Toastmaster 2000, I'll toast every toaster on the market. Try to say that 3 times fast. To discover speaking skills. To discover speaking skills I already have, or maybe to lose them altogether. I should try to maintain eye contact. Well, I even engineered eyes behind my back in the case that I need to move around the room and to be 100% certain. And finally, the million-dollar question. Who are you? Suddenly I couldn't give an answer. Who am I really? That's not a Facebook status post. For that, I needed to look back to see where and when the dots have started to connect. The first time I came face to face with the question of my identity was probably 35 years ago. At 12, an introvert, buried in science books, with pimples and hair that couldn't decide in which way to point. I found a book that my parents had bought. It was called Jonathan Livingston Seagull Story by Richard Bach. The book has sold about 60 million copies. And in case you are not one of the 60 million, the book is the story of a young seagull, Jonathan, who does not conform to the conventions of the flock. He refuses to fly just to survive, fighting with other seagulls for scraps from fishing boats. He feels that flying is his passion, his higher purpose in life, and wants to be perfect in it. For his insolence, for wanting to chase his dreams, and to be different than the rest of the flock, he is made an outcast. He spends his first life alone, but happy, doing what he loves best, flying. And at the end of his first life, he passes to a different realm, a higher realm, among peers, other seagulls that love to fly. Reaching perfection in this higher realm, he decides to return to help other seagulls that have a passion for flight. He embraces and trains outcasts, the misfits, the dreamers, crazy ones. I have read that book dozens of times, and it has profoundly inspired the young seagull inside me. I love freedom. I want to choose how I live, define my own destiny, do the things I love, be the best I can, and to help others. Well, growing up, apart from changing my hairstyle, I turned my love for science and technology into a profession as an electrical engineer. And I also discovered my love for the sea and the freedom of scuba diving. As Richard Bach says in another book, we teach best what we most need to learn. And I wanted to learn, so I became a scuba instructor. In one of my classes, I met Katerina. And it took me just about 3 seconds to fall in love with her. And 25 years later, I have still not changed my mind. And that led to what I feel is my crowning achievement in life, my 3 wonderful children. I have learned that life is too short to allow fear to paralyze us. Sometimes we need to take risks. If I had listened to fear, I wouldn't have experienced the adrenaline rush of skydiving and the feeling of the wind on my face at terminal velocity. I have learned that greatness cannot be achieved by being a member of a flock. The flock despises individuality. If you stand out, then they will try to bring you down with criticism. For instance, you can only imagine the bitter comments I got at work when I decided to convert the typical dog-sitter office into my personal creative environment. I ignored the comments, and they finally stopped. I have learned that if I want to be an individual, I have to accept that the road can be lonely, at least for a while. I have learned that if I buy people's opinions, I also agree to live their lives. No, thank you. I choose to design my own life as much as I can. I get bored easily if I'm not in creative mode, if I have to do routine work. But I feel blessed that now, apart from my day job, I am involved in activities with other positive peer groups, including Toastmasters, that have led me on a path of self-discovery, self-awareness, and personal development. And since we teach best what we most have to learn, my ambition is to help others discover their passions and to achieve their goals and their dreams. Clearly, I cannot completely define who I am in just a few minutes, but then again, I don't have to. I am who I am, with no need for labels. I am a summation of my past experiences, and I can always make a decision to change the direction of my life in about 3 seconds.